Sure.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعين به ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد, جزاكم الله خير, my dear respected brothers and sisters. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless this gathering and make this gathering for His sake. In the past, we talked about, or we started to talk about, what are the steps that uh, the son of Adam would have to take before he would commit a sin. And Ibn al-Qayyim, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with him, he described to us there are 4 steps that human being would have to take before he would commit a sin. And last time we spoke about 2, and inshallah today we're going to be talking about 1. So what did we talk about last time in summary? We talked about what Ibn al-Qayyim called al-lahadat wal-khatarat. What's al-lahadat? He said that the looks, that any sin started with looks, and we talked about the ways that we could control the looks. And also the second step that Ibn al-Qayyim spoke about, he said al-khatarat, thoughts or ideas. And also we talked about some of the ways that we could prevent that from happening. And today, bid'Illah ta'ala, we're going to be talking about the third step of how a human being can stop committing a sin, which is al-lafadat. Al-lafadat. What's the word al-lafadat means? Lafadats come from the word lafada, or to talk, or to speak, or to utter. Um, and as we know, brothers and sisters, that talking is one of the things that human beings can have, which could lead them to doing good things, or could lead them in doing bad things. And a person, brothers and sisters, should always wait before he talks. He should wait the word that comes out of his mouth and see if these words are going to be beneficial or they're not going to be beneficial. Are they going to be harmful or not going to be harmful? Are they going to be something that is going to reward him or is not going to reward him? It is something that is going to elevate him or put him down. And always it's important, brothers and sisters, that a person before he talks, that he should think about the words that are going to be coming out of his mouth. Because the only difference between us and animals is that animals have no filter. Animals have no filter before they speak. And sometimes, actually, some animals have filters better than some human beings. But what happened is what we see that many human beings, brothers and sisters, have absolutely no filter. Whatever they think about, it comes out of their mouth. And believe it or not, brothers and sisters, what comes out of your mouth is nothing but what's in your heart. This is the reality. If I want to know, and if I want to know what inside someone's heart, I would have to see what comes out of their mouth. And one of the Sahaba, one of the tabi'in, his name is Yahya ibn Mu'adh. What he said? He said, "Al-qulubu kal-qudur." The hearts are like pots. Al-qulubu kal-qudur. Hearts are like pots. تغلي فيما فيها. That that whatever inside of that pot is gonna come out. وألسنتها مغارفها. What comes out of and the tongues are nothing but the spoons that brings the stuff out of the pots. The spoons are like the tongues that brings what's inside those pots. So the question here, brothers and sisters, is that look, if you want to look at, and this is the reality, if you want to see what's inside someone's heart, you look at what comes out of their tongue, you know, and and this is the way, a direct way to know what the person is like and what is his personality. One, is he a good person, is he a bad person? Like, for instance, if someone, the only thing comes out of their mouth is profanity or cuss words or foul language or bad things or mocking or making fun, Do you think that this person is a righteous person? Of course not, because whatever inside of their heart is coming out of their tongue, you know. And that's why, one of the weak hadith, but it's still considered to be a hadith. لا يستقيم إيمان عبد حتى يستقيم قلبه ولا يستقيم قلبه حتى يستقيم لسانه. He said, the hadith says the following, that the faith of an individual, the faith of the individual would not be straight until his heart is straight. So the faith of an individual is not going to be straight until his heart is straight. And the person's heart is not going to be straight until his tongue is straight. So tongue, heart, faith. So subhanallah, this is the equation that many people tend to undermine, brothers and sisters. One time, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was once asked, what is the most that lets people into the hellfire? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he answered with two words. The number one reason that gets people into the hellfire are two words: al-famu wal-farj. Your mouth and your private parts. Your mouth by talking and cheating and lying and mocking, and your private parts by committing zina. You know, and that's why, sometimes people tend to belittle these things, brothers and sisters. That's the problem. Like, oh, it's a word. No, it's not a word. One time, Mu'adh ibn Jabal came to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, "Oh, Prophet of Allah, he was asked what's the thing that is gonna get him away from the hellfire." So Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him, "Ana ukhbiruka bimalaذ ذلك." Should I tell you what's going to help you to get far away from the hellfire? He said, "Oh, Prophet of Allah." He said, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam took his tongue. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam took his tongue, and then he said, "Kuffa alayka hada." Control this, control your tongue. Then Mu'adh ibn Jabal, he was surprised, like, just this would get me away from the hellfire? He said, وَإِنَّا لَمُؤَاخِذُونَ بِمَا نَتَكَلَّمْ بِهِ. Oh, Prophet of Allah, are we going to be accounted for what comes out of our mouth? Then Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he got upset, and he said, فَكَلَتْكَ أُمُّكَ يَا مُعَاذ. Oh, Mu'adh, may you go back into the stomach of your mother. وهل يكب الناس في النار على وجوههم إلا على مناخرهم إلا من حصائد أنفسهم. Oh, Mu'adh, people are dragged into the hellfire. They're dragged in their faces in the hellfire. Isn't it because of what comes out of their mouth? People dragged into the hellfire because of what comes out of their mouth. So, brothers and sisters, this is a huge issue. So how many times someone, because of a word, because of one word, okay, he might, this word might lead him into heaven, and with one word might put him into the hellfire. Sometimes you see a lot of people, they might be cautious away from stealing. They're cautious, away from committing zina. They're cautious away from, eating the halal. They're cautious away from not drinking, but they care less about what comes out of their mouth. Yet these things could be worth all of the things that I mentioned, because if one word can throw them into the hellfire. And one time we know of a hadith that is mentioned in that is mentioned in authentic hadith, and the hadith goes the following: a man, he saw another man sitting. So قال رجل, and then والله لا يغفر الله لفلان, because this man sins a lot. This man, he said, I swear by Allah, Allah would not forgive you. So he's saying, he's talking about the other guy because he sins a lot. He said, Wallahi, Allah will not forgive you. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke. Rabb al-Alamin spoke. He said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, من ذا الذي يتألى عليه? Who is speaking on my behalf? Who is speaking in my behalf? أني لا أغفر لفلان, that I will not forgive this person. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قد غفرت له وأحبطت عملك. I forgave all his sins because of your word. I forgave all his sins, I'm not going to accept any of your good deeds. Because of one word, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have forgiven the sins of all of this man have committed, and he have not accepted all of the good deeds of the person who thought he was righteous. One word. When you enter Islam, don't you enter Islam with one word? La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. When you accept a marriage, don't you say I agree or I accept? Isn't it because of one word? When someone last word in this in this world says La ilaha illallah, is it because of one word? So brothers and sisters, do not belittle the things that comes out of your mouth or the word that comes out of your mouth. Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu, he said, تكلم بكلمة أوبقت الدنيا دنياه وآخرته. يعني a man might speak one word, might destroy his dunya, his world, and his hereafter. One word. And another hadith, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, إن العبد ليتكلم الكلمة من رضوان الله. A man might speak one word out of the satisfaction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لا يلقي لها بالا. He did not think about it. يرفعه الله بها درجات. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would elevate him so many levels in Jannah. وإن العبد ليتكلم الكلمة من سخط الله لا يلقي لها بالا يهوى به في نار جهنم. A man might speak one word and he's not thinking about it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala might throw him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala might throw him into the hellfire many levels. Because of what? Because of that one word. Okay? So it's important for us to think about the things that comes out of our mouth and to pay attention to what do we say. So this is very important. Unfortunately, people nowadays talk with no filter. And that's the problem that many people fall into. Why? Sometimes wars, literally wars between countries, start because of words that comes out of their mouth. Wars. So subhanallah, let me give you this example. And don't think, no matter how high of a status you are, don't think words is not going to be something that you're not going to be accounted for. This story happened at the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, a young man died. Look at this. A young man died in the day of Uhud. When we say someone, a Sahabi who have witnessed Uhud, this is considered to be a great Sahabi. Or Sahabi, one of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad who witnessed Uhud. So he died. He died as a shaheed. And not only that, he died because he was so hungry. And he tied, they found his body, and he tied a stone around his stomach because of how hungry he was. So his mom saw his body. فمسحت أمه التراب على وجهه. His mom wiped the sand on his head. And she said, هنيئا لك يا بني الجنة. Oh, my son, I congratulate you that you have earned Jannah. Look at what Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. He said, وما يدريك. What guarantee for you that you have entered Jannah? لعله كان يتكلم فيما لا يعنيه. Maybe he was talking, he opened his mouth to talk about things of none of his business. So a man who witnessed Uhud and died as a martyr and died out of hunger with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, who knows if he entered Jannah or not, because he spoke about something that is not of his business. And that's why Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, brothers and sisters, he have classified for us all speech in one hadith. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam classified for us all of the speech in one hadith. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir." Whoever believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and hereafter, فليقل خيرا أو ليصمت. فليقل خيرا. Whoever believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Prophet, let him speak something good or be quiet. So what does that mean? With this hadith, scholars said that speech is divided into three categories. One, something that is bad, something that is neutral, it's not good, it's not bad, and something that is good. So bad, not good, not bad, good. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told you, he said, "Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir falyaqul khayran أو ليصمت. So Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم told us to يعني shut our mouth when it comes to something that is يعني even non-beneficial. Yeah, 2/3 of the talks bad, you're not allowed to talk, and something that is neutral, you're not even to say it. It's not good for you to say it too. So say good or be quiet. So say good or be quiet, and that's what Islam teaches, brothers and sisters. This is the way. How many families and how many have separated because of words? How many fighting that started because of words? How many people have disconnected with their uncles and aunts because of words? How many divorces have happened because of words? You know, yani when one of the Sahaba, yani he came to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he said, yani you know, أخوف ما yani what the worst thing I'm fearing for you? He said, your tongue. The worst thing I fear for you is your tongue. And that's why يعني, it's important that يعني that when we wanted to talk, we want to say يعني it's good to say things that are good. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, كلام ابن آدم, the word that comes out of the son of Adam, عليه لا له, it's against him, not for him. So anything comes out of your mouth is against you, not for you. إلا, except. So when it's good to talk, إلا أمر بمعروف, that you recommend what is good, or you will forbid what is bad, or you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Beyond that is bad. It's either you say things that you would recommend people to say that is good, or you forbid people from doing bad, or you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And unfortunately, these things that the least people nowadays are doing. Wallah al-musta'an. So brothers and sisters, let us realize that our tongue, it is the thing, and is a thing that it's continue to move even if you are sitting. And for instance, someone it could be in a dining table, he could be sitting, he could be standing, he could be in his car. The rest of his body may not be moving, but the only thing that could be moving is what? His tongue. And it was narrated that all of the organs of the body, all of the organs in the body, each and every day, they talk to the tongue. All of our organs of our body talk to the tongue. You know, فإن الأعضاء كلها تكفر اللسان وتقول اتق الله فينا. يعني oh tongue, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with us. يعني we are with you. If you were straight, then we were okay. Yeah, because if the tongue is straight, then he would save the rest of the organs, right? And if he's not straight, then all of the organs of his body are going to be thrown into the hellfire. So the organs of your body talk and beg your tongue, please don't take us to the hellfire. Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with us, and etc. And subhanallah, brothers and sisters, the Sahaba understood this fact. Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu, it was narrated that he used to put a stone underneath his tongue. A stone. Why? So he would not talk too much. So it would make his tongue heavy. And he would say, هذا ما أوردني الموارد. يعني he would say, this tongue is the one who have, he have caused so much trouble for me. This tongue is the one who have caused so much trouble for me. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he told us that everything that comes out of your mouth is recorded. ما يلفظ من قول إلا لديه رقيب عتيد. ما يلفظ من قول, he does not speak one single word. إلا لديه رقيب عتيد, unless you have someone, he's being recorded. Anything that comes out of mouth, you're being recorded. And that's what, brothers and sisters, the two things that could be of danger when it comes to tongue, and that's the last thing I'm going to talk about. The two things that could come into danger when it comes to the tongue is talking and being quiet. Both can be good and both can be bad. Talking, when you talk about something haram, it can be bad. But also talking, when you forbid what is wrong and you recommend what is right, and remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is good. And also being quiet. Being quiet when you're not supposed to say bad things is good. but also being quiet in the time that you're supposed to be standing up for what is right. When your brother is oppressed and you don't say anything, when it's time when it's required for you to speak up and you be quiet, this is wrong. And that's why the people in the middle, they have good control of these two aspects. They know when to be quiet and they know when to talk. And that's what Islam requires us. And that's why, brothers and sisters, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, narrate to us that someone might come into the hereafter, and might find mountains of good deeds. Mountains, imagine this, mountains of good deeds. And all of these mountains would evaporate because of the things that came out of his mouth. And another person might see mountains of sins, and all these mountains would evaporate because of how much he remembered Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How much he remembered Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So brothers and sisters, know for fact that everything that comes out of your tongue is against you, is being recorded. You have to think about it. You have to understand it. You have to filter it. And you don't want to regret. You don't want to regret anything that comes out of your mouth, because it's going to be for you or against you. I hope that this is that you have learned something for today. جزاكم الله خير, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward all of you. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نستغفرك ونتوب إليك, والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين عملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. جزاكم الله خير, والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.